Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gaming with Blockchain. So, we're going through another week review of what's been happening in the world of blockchain gaming, particularly, as you know, on the EOS and WAX. And believe it or not, yes, I'll be touching to other categories as well. We will be expanding. But first, what's happening in Upland? And, been getting a lot of requests and questions. And, okay, what's going on? I can't do this and I can't do that. When would we be able to do these things? And these are repetitive questions. And, completely get it. Like the patience is waning. Everyone's anxious and to get to the next level. But let's think of it this week. So this week, Upland had the celebration called Cinco de Mayo on Wednesday. It was a Mexican piñata party celebration signifying this holiday. It was across all cities in Upland, and it's almost like a mini treasure hunt. So if it was your type of thing, and you love treasure hunts, this has been something that it would be ideal for you. I did not participate because, as you know, is this not my thing, but doesn't mean you can't do it. It's something that it means to gain additional UPX and opportunity to explore these cities and get to know what's going on in the history of some of these cities. As you know, it could be just as informative and educational. So on top of that, there was also now the chance to gauge in options to win bus terminals for the new cities that are coming in, the Baskerville and Staten Island. Now, Staten Island had just launched. They opened up on Friday morning. And as many were aware, it was primarily for FSA players. So new players that are now just entering the Upland gaming sphere we're able to now select and go into Staten Island, Staten Island being primarily the first, where 75% of the properties are reserved. So let's go take a look and we'll scout right through and we'll see what that dynamics is all about. So I'm just going to surf over. So you can see it's two major hubs. You have the New York hub and you have the California hub. So we're now just zooming in to the New York sector and hub area. So as you can see right now, there's a lot of activity happening, and you can take a notice where you have the train terminals that take you from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and then you also have the bus terminals. And I haven't taken the bus because I'm still in Oakland myself right now. And from there, it will lead you to Staten Island. So here's the bus terminal to Staten Island. Now from there, as you can see, there's everyone floating around, and we're going to turn on the point of interest. You can see the outline of all the neighborhoods as it speaks at this moment. But now let's look at some of the activity, and you can see where the FSAs have been more predominant in this sell-up because it's known as Staten Island is now a starter city. It's just like Fresno or Clovis. These are cities now where the tier values are a little lower, but it's a good entry point for new players to just kind of get a feel of what's going on in the game and be comfortable with the game mechanics itself. So you can see right now, before generally the the ratio was more or less a 50-50 split between FSAs and regular purchase for properties, but now they've increased that ratio to 75%, and that means less of the properties are available for more senior or executives or directors as well. So that means if I wanted to buy a property, one, I would have to be really quick to get in and try to tag the properties that are now left for my access, or wait until these properties are released. And who knows, part of these will probably be as well as FSA2. That's yet to be determined. But ultimately, which is most likely, which most of us are doing, is that we're going and we have to now purchase on a secondary market. And that's the nature of the beast at some points, where you want to have a growing player base and have them enjoy the game as much as anybody else. But then also the trade-off is, okay, well, players that have now established themselves a little better are kind of have a delay in how they can penetrate or enter a new city. So if I want to now, I have to strategize with a another FSA player and say, okay, would you be willing to buy this property on my behalf with an agreed markup value, and we can determine that within our negotiations. But what does that mean? It now means that once the next city opens up in, I would say, Bakersfield, I think it will be the next one. I'm not sure if it's the same timeline or a week later. This now allows all these players to make a choice. You won't have a cluster of all players being in one area because, as you know, and I've mentioned it before, the player base is growing. There's more players coming on board. There's more people looking to get involved in this game's mechanics. So compared to Brooklyn, right here, which is just next door, the amount of properties that are left for purchase or none. So if a new player's coming in, they'll be wondering, what am I supposed to do here? I can't find anything. There's nothing for me to select, or whatever's for sale is in a price point that I'm not willing to trade off for. So increasing the supply to some regard will slow down the kind of turnover, or I should say the maximum hit that the game has been receiving in the last 3 months or so, where it peaks so quickly that the focus is always constantly on, okay, we need to get a new city, we need to get a new city. This way now, a little bit more disbursement, a new city coming in, and a new starter city kind of coming into play, it will allow the or kind of where the markets need to kind of slow down the real estate. So you hear the governments in real life saying, well, we've got to curb the real estate market, it's too hot. Well, right now, believe it or not, Upland has to curb their buyout of their cities a little bit so that they can focus on all the other objectives that they're looking to do. And this way, this does that. One, it helps disperse, again, I'll say that word, it disperses the activity range so it's not all in one area, as well as it gives new players options of what to look for and scout and do their own thing, while in the background, all these other opportunities or game plans are being unleashed. So now, even on that, so if I'm now buying on a secondary market, I've made some offers previously, and some were accepted, and unfortunately, the last two I made were rejected. And that's the nature. Again, it's some will say yes, some will say no, depending on what their intentions are, or what they're looking for primarily. But that's where the game is now evolving. That at times you will have such activity that at any stage you have to decide, okay, am I going to get it on a minted stage where it's a first buy, or I'm now looking at secondary buy, maybe even possibly a third tier, who knows. But it's exciting to see that now the game has grown to a point where now they're not chasing to fulfill a high demand. They've now, hopefully at this point, got to the point where it can kind of stabilize just a bit, and bring in all these other dynamics that everyone's anticipating, like property build and the businesses. Everyone's really anxious on how that will unfold. And the other thing that's been great on this particular launch, and I'll just turn off the point of interest, has been that it was a smooth one. It was relatively smooth. Again, I did not participate it because this was more or less during a time where I wasn't available to do so. But from the feedback and the general consensus, this was a lot better, a lot smoother, less glitchy of experience. So I would say satisfactory overall. And that's a bonus. This is again something that you are looking to do as a game developer, that you're going to grow, yes, but you want to grow in a way that you can manage the experience, and that players are very content on what they're doing and how they're experiencing the excitement of the game. So there's new onboard players coming in, have been coming on board. I've now even put it on a request for FSA buyers. So if you are one and you're watching this, send me an email, send me a message. I'll definitely like to touch base and find out what we can arrange moving forward. And I'm hoping you're enjoying this game. I'm hoping this is providing you a little bit more appreciation and a kind of almost seal of approval that things are going in the right direction for Upland. Just, everyone says be patient, and I know everyone's tired of hearing that, but it is unfolding. It is coming together, and it's just going to be quite exciting. I think in the next few weeks, if not maybe a month or two, and we'll touch base more about that later on, on a more specialized edition that I'll be doing, hopefully early next week. So until then, please continue to follow and subscribe and share, and we'll be touching on other dynamics shortly. Take care.